Hello everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Tritoncraft. We have not been out here in a minute. I can't remember when the actual first episode we came out here was. I'm just out here at our little nether fortress area where you can see here we've kind of converted it into a rudimentary farm. Unfortunately, we can't filter out the wither skeletons because, well, we need, I think we need wither roses for that. I don't have any. But we're out here, oh my god, so many blazes spawn out here, and it drives me absolutely freaking nuts that there are just so many of these stupid things. So we have our little blocker bar areas here, the old parts of the fortress where we just got some bars overhead, and we're smacking the crap out of these wither skeletons and trying to get ourselves some wither skulls, because we need more beacons, obviously, to do our ancient city racetrack project, and just because beacons are nice to have for a lot of different reasons. Question mark? Die. God. See how we've done so far. We got 7. I mean, 7's not terrible, but it's not necessarily great or anything either. I mean, we just filling up on the... Hey, guy. Hey. I'm trying to do an episode. God. Ridiculousness. The good thing is it's also getting us lots of coal blocks, which is one of the reasons why I thought to do coal blocks for our floor. Hi, shut up. Well, I thought to do coal blocks for that checkerboard floor that we got going on inside of our palace. We're going to get back there momentarily, but we've got a whole bunch of wither skeleton skulls, and I'm going to get a whole bunch more while we're here. You can also see, like, this wider area as we kind of look around here, how slabbed up everything is. Obviously, we could make this farm even more productive. Oh, God, there's another one behind me. I was, like, focused on that one that's, like, way out there. Yeah, we could make this way more efficient if we slabbed up a lot more of the area. There is quite a bit of this slabbed up, to be 100% honest. This is kind of one of those things. It's like digging a big tunnel where it's just a kind of chill downtime activity that you do off camera. You just come out here and you slabby jab up some big area here, create yourself a big giant spawning platform, and just set aside murking some nether mobs. Like that guy over there. I did take out, there was a whole island over here that I actually went ahead and removed because it was filling up a bunch of the mob cap. There was a whole bunch of piglins spawning on it. The problem is I'm next to this Crimson Forest area over here, and this is constantly filling up with these stupid hoglins and stuff like that. I mean, it's not perfect. Like, it's definitely something that could be way more efficient. But if I was going to build, like, an actual farm, then I would. But I kind of like just running around in here and just smacking around the nether mobs. I think it's really fun, and, you know, trying to see how long I can survive in here without getting murdered. So also services as a good gold farm as well, because, well, we just come out here because these stupid zombified piglins also, of course, take up the mob cap, but we need that mob cap to be taken up by real mobs like wither skeletons, so that way we can do nethery things. Oh my god, I gotta clean out the inventory here. It's getting ridiculous. Like I said, I'm keeping the coal because the coal is always great, and of course we're keeping all the gold. Well, we got 7 now. Not terrible. Not terrible. Not great, but not terrible. This place has also cost me multiple horses. There's our entranceway coming in here. Huge long staircase that's off of our main spawn area, which I just kind of built out here so I could connect this in, but I had tied up horses inside of that thing. Apparently, I don't know what happened. Either a wither skeleton went in there and marked them, or they got shot by a gas fireball, or something in between. I don't know exactly what happened. This place has also cost me 2 bows already. Or, well, not 2 bows, but I had to repair my bow like twice already. What? Sniped out the sky, but I can't hit this stupid skeleton over here to save my life. There we go. Aww. I like to there's like cherry pick stuff off of the outer islands here just periodically if I can. If I could stop sucking long enough. Not gonna stop sucking long enough. Where is he? I feel like I want to freak him and just like see. That's a pile of dirt. It's a... None of you shall speak of this ever again. You know, it's just a skelly smacking sort of day. Hi. Well, Welcome back, everybody. We are here at my Skelly farm. So I found this when I was caving around the ancient city, just kind of bored one day. And I was like, you know what? We don't have a source of XP out here at the ancient city. So I just kind of quick and dirty threw this really quick Skelly farm together. Not a very complex design or anything like that. It's got our little spawner and it's dropping our Skellies into water streams, and then they drop down the Skelly drop. There we go. And then I whack them and I get XP. I was tired of going all the way back to have my farmers repair my stuff, and it was really, really annoying to me. And since we just dug ourselves a massive stretch of tunnel here, I figured I would come here and heal up my pickaxe just a little bit so we could continue, because I broke into the actual diggy chamber here. I broke into the tunnel I dug to connect myself to the Skelly farm quite a bit ago here. So here we go. We've got our first big arm of our racetrack dug here. This must be in a, well, maybe I was close enough to it to prevent spot. I don't know. What? No, I don't know. Maybe I wasn't. I don't know. But yeah, I feel like maybe this is still part of the ancient city biome, so that's why there's no mobs spawning in it, because there's no light in there except for way down there at the end, and I never saw one spawning here the whole time we were digging it. So even though it does go outside of the bounds of the ancient city, maybe the 3D biome does kind of extend into that area just a little bit. And here we are inside of our hub. It is slowly coming together. You can see here, I wanted to find the center. These two blocks are the dead center here. And then I kind of made a little equal circle all the way around it. So it's a little bit, you know, wider than it is long. And then I did an outer perimeter area in the lights in this little halo up here. So this is going to be our skylight, which is what we're going to focus on doing right now. But I did get some walls and stuff going on in here. We got our blue terracotta rocket and rolling in here. I've got to rejigger some of these little window areas outside because some of them have these posts in the way. And obviously we don't want that. We want our guests to be able to see out into, well, this guy can see this wall of skulk here, I guess. So it's not much, but anyway, I want to get these things out of the way so that way, you know, the guests can actually kind of see stuff here. I ran out of dark oak, and we got to get ourselves more of that stuff here. You'll also notice we buried in our thing here because I didn't want exterior access to it. And again, we're going to build a covered walkway here. So if we take a look over here, right here, we can go down into this little staircase here and then into this tunnel. I actually did this all with smooth basalt from our geode over here and spread a whole bunch of skulk through here. There is just some pale lighting kind of rock and roll in here. I redesigned this room just a little bit, kind of moved the treasure boxes off to the side and redid the entire floor with the tiled deep slate here just to kind of make it look a little bit nicer in here, and moved our chests so that way there's a little bit more of an open walkway to kind of get through here. I've got a lot of bones and a lot of arrows that we're going to chuck all of into the garbage here. But yeah, I just wanted to dig this out and just kind of do a little bit more stuff with that. But now what I need to do, and the reason why we came back here, is because it's time to discuss the first I need to label these chests. I have no idea where anything is still. And I need to also think about, okay, I want 24 of these because I want to grow 6 dark oak trees, and well, I've got a bunch of bones, so we'll just use that for our bone meal purposes here. But I want to talk about the first turn of the racetrack because that is kind of where we just dug our way down to, is right around the area where our first turn is going to be. So we will do this action here, and we will do this action here because I need more dark oak wood because I think I want to do this in dark oak, not pale oak, because I want darker colors on the track itself in some areas, although we do have the pale oak in the one section, but I don't know how necessarily we're going to do it. Let me chop these trees down really quick and collect up this wood, and then we're going to go conceptualize what this corner is going to look like here. Oh, dang it. Come on. Grow. It's not going to grow. I really should have put ice in here, but I really want to kind of get everything dug out first and really conceptualize what this looks like visually before I start placing in ice. Because once we start placing in ice, like that's pretty much it. Like the ancient city is going to pretty much stay exactly as it is at that point. So what we are going to do is this is going to be where we are actually going to start turning here. And I wanted to conceptualize what does this look like with, I want to do like dark oak, I want to do white, and then I also want to kind of do both. So the creative mode thing is not going to look like this, obviously, but and I'm building this in the wrong place too. Hang on. So this is the end of the line down here, all the way down there. I would have put some ice in here, but I want to conceptualize what this is going to look like visually first before we commit to any necessary exact pathways of what we're going to do. This is going to be the start of our turn right here. Stupid shrieker's in the way here. This is our pathway over here to our Skelly farm, right over there. So what I want to do is I think we're going to have wooden poles here that are going to kind of run in the corner and kind of bend around everything, just like this. And then we're going to go like so. And obviously, like, I got to dig out the rest of that kind of stuff and everything. Like, obviously, we want to dig the whole thing out, and then we're going to have to fill a whole bunch of it back in, because that's just kind of the way that it has to go here. All right, I got to dig a little bit more of this out. We're also going to reclaim all this skulk that's in here, because, again, we need to re-skulkify, like, a lot of the racetrack visually once we kind of get our design elements and everything in place. So we're going to take all this skulk out of here. Like, I've been doing this with different pockets of skulk that I've been finding, like little caverns that lead into it that kind of are like these little branching skulk caves. I've just been like stripping the skulk out of the entrance. I did a couple of them like right over there somewhere it was. And, you know, then filled it in, then completely filled it in, because otherwise, you know, we're wasting valuable skulk, and I don't want to have to put skulk, whatever the box things are. Skulk creepers? No, that's not it. For some reason I'm thinking like StarCraft and like Zerg creep. Is that... That's for whatever reason the thing that just popped into my head. Now I can't get the word creep out of my head. But you know what I mean? The skulk boxes that spread the stuff when you kill stuff and it drops XP orbs next to it. So what I want to do is, I don't want to have to put a bunch of those everywhere and then let it, like, nature take its course. I might do that in a few places, but also then I'd have to lure mobs in and have a way to get XP of. Although, of course, we do have the Skelly farm, and we definitely could do that with some, like, little bits of that, but I don't want to necessarily have to rely on that as a complete fail save. You know what I mean? Like, it just, I don't know, makes sense to me. I wonder, I almost feel like that's too much. I almost feel, not too much, I feel like it's too sharp of an angle, and I really worry that we're not going to be able to kind of get a good drift coming into this, because again, you got to start coming, like, we're going to have to take the early turn, like, it's going to have to be, like, I don't know, because, like, the turns are going to be fat. The turns are going to be big, fat, like, wide areas back here that are going to have to, like, really take up some good real estate, because if they don't, then... Again, you're gonna come into with the boat and you're gonna slide. And you're gonna start to try to turn, and then there's just not gonna be enough real estate. Even with 6 blocks wide, like, it's not gonna be enough to do like the width of the actual track itself. So I feel like we got to kind of dig the rest of this whole section out here. I really probably prematurely like got to this video clip, but look, there's nothing inside of this guy's head. If you look in here, it's just empty. It's just empty. You could just see his face from inside of it. That's how empty that head is. I don't think about these things ahead of time. Because, yeah, I almost wonder if that's, like, too... Like, if I need to make this, like... I don't know. Like, I need to dig the whole rest of the thing out. Like, I'm trying to say I'm going to prepare the canvas, but then I didn't even finish preparing half of the thing. But, like, right over here... Like, if you see over there... We're using the cheaty cam for this, and I do not care. But, like, right over here, you can see the double... lights right there, and that little tunnel that we started to dig there, that is our next tunnel that we have to kind of meet into, because the racetrack is going to come over here. We're going to come down here, like, zoom straight away, then like drift around the corner here, and then drift around, and then there'll be a small straightaway back in this area, obviously, and then we're going to boom right up here, a second turn that's going to go right into this portion here. And this has to be widened out too. I actually haven't done this yet, and I actually should do this before I finish digging that turn, so I can kind of try to map out exactly where we're going to come into this area, because I don't actually 100% know. I'm also thinking about reconceptualizing the way that this thing fits into the entire project here. I don't necessarily know if I want to go around this structure, because I don't want to include a ton of tight turns, because I feel like a ton of tight turns is going to make it not fun. Because tight turns in boats means you're going to be stopped. And stopping on the ice boat racetrack is not fun. Stopping should have a danger to it because that's when you're going to hear the shriekers. And if you stop, you could get hit by the warden and the warden could catch up with you. So I don't necessarily know if that's a thing that I really want to try to deal with. You know, I don't want to do that necessarily. I don't want to stop the boats if we can at all help it. So I don't know. I need to kind of keep thinking about this and kind of keep milling about in my head. And I'm going to dig out the whole rest of this little hook down here and dig over to the other side. So stay tuned for some more time-lapse footage, and then I'll be back to empty out more of the thoughts in this dude's already empty head. See you in a bit. That was like 2 weeks worth of building and all those time lapses. Not even gonna lie. Well, not really a whole lot of building, but more a whole lot of digging. You'll also tell I've got my super sultry voice on right now because I am getting over being sick. I was sick. I'm still sort of sick again, but I didn't want to miss another episode for you guys. So, you know, thank you so much. Welcome back, everybody. We're on the racetrack here, and I figured what we would do is we could actually go through a run of the racetrack here first, and I could show you the little bits that I have built. I mean, obviously, this just goes off into nothingness behind me, so it's obviously not done. Like, I had nowhere near close to done with it, but I have just, you know, in my sickness and my downtime, just been digging. But even with the beacons, digging deep slate does take a little bit of time. So, you know, I wanted to first just, like, take a loop around the track here and kind of talk about the design of the track and kind of talk about the physics of the track a little bit and kind of how it measures up here. So we're going to head down the main straightaway here through our starting area into our first turn, and we got to do a start for our drift move. I already turned way too late. And then we got to head into our central area here. There's our big mouth with the buck teeth up there. We got to start turning here up. And this is actually going to be wider than the time-lapse footage that you just saw. I actually ended up bumping these turns out a little bit to make them a little bit bigger because this is going to be a slowdown area because you are going to be able to get wardens summoned in there. And then we, of course, are at the end of the racetrack right down here. So let's go ahead and do that. You might have noticed in the time lapse, it took me a few different tries to actually come up with a corner design that I thought looked really, really nice. And then this is kind of my way for building them for the future to make sure they all look correctly, because this is 7 blocks from this outside bit to the inside bit over there. But yeah, we can talk about all of the different things going on in here in our Ancient City racetrack here. I love the way the turns are kind of tapered now, but there's a physics to boat driving that you're going to continue even once you start turning the boat. And this is kind of the thing I got to overcome here. I got to make sure the design is fair enough in the turns to make sure that you can actually take the turn well enough. So let's just go ahead and do that. But you see how the boat kind of keeps going straight a little bit before you actually start to make the turn. So you have to really set up your drifts correctly. And I think maybe I'll even put some kind of indicators on the wall or something like that. I mean, obviously we got to build the whole tunnel design in here, and this is just the track design. I want to get the track design laid down first, so that way I can bump out and flesh out and add more space to the corners like I did in the big loop. We'll get over there in a little bit here. But yeah, basically you have to kind of go straight, and then you have to start going sideways, but it doesn't stop. And I'm messing up doing it here. I'm talking and then doing it. So let me back way up, and I'm way hugging the wall. I don't want to be hugging the wall, although that did come kind of clean there. You see, I got to kind of start slowing down a little bit and drifting into the turn, because if you don't, by the time you get the turn, you'll hit that wall and then you stop dead in your tracks. And you don't want to stop dead, because obviously you're going to lose momentum. And that's more time that a warden that might be nearby might be able to get you with the blast. It's still a tough kind of gate to swing around there. in the middle. I won't spin around and cause anybody any like vertigo issues or anything like that. But you know, let me get a potion in the belly here, and let's actually take a little bit better look at everything here. So yeah, we have, of course, here first and foremost our 2 straightaways that come into and out of the big mouth area, of course, from our turn area that we have down in here under the ground. And this, of course, is where we come in from our main starting grid, around that turn there, and then down this straightaway, and then around this turn here. And then, of course, once you go up there around that loop, you're going to come back down here and out this way over into the second part of the track, basically. This isn't even half of the track, I don't think. So, you know, just kind of is what it is. But yeah, basically, I love the way we have the tracks just running parallel to each other. I think this looks really, really nice. I love that shot of kind of just the dual tracks running down the center, right into where the big mouth is. We've got a Shrieker hiding in here. That's going to be a little Warden summoning spot right there that you're going to be able to hit. And then we get down here around where the central wall structure of the big mouth thing used to be. Of course, you can see we did rip out the redstone room that was in here. Talk about that more in a bit as well. But right here, especially, this is going to be a dangerous, dangerous turn, because you can see we've got 3 Shriekers right down here, and we've got even more down here. Now, I don't know how many we're going to keep. We can't, until we actually run the race proper and put some sensors in here to hear you coming by. I don't know how many of these we're actually going to leave here, because it's overkill at some point, right? You know, because you're going to have too many in the certain area. But eventually we've got to figure out kind of how many we're going to do. But I really love, again, the same view going down the other direction here. Just that beautiful track coming out and then back around and then all the way back around. I made sure that this is perfect. Like, everything is perfectly spaced here in terms of the corners coming around. You can see how much fatter the corners are. This is actually 8 blocks across here instead of the normal 6 for the track. And then, of course, we've got this here, and then we come around the back side here. I did add another beacon down there so we can start tearing out this central structure, because, of course, that is not centered, which sucks. I left these here because I want to make sure I actually use this lighting scheme with the waterlogged sensor, and then have, like, a series of them light up as you go by on a boat. I think that'd be really, really cool, if it works anyway. So I just kind of left them there just so I know what it looked like, so I don't have to go pulling anything else up. And then back around here, like I said, we go down our other turn here. And then right down here into this big dummy's empty head. There he is, right there. Oh my god, we're gonna hit him. The one thing I've really got to like watch out for, though, is really make sure that I can get these turns rocking and rolling. But a lot of this is drift technique. A lot of this is making sure that you can actually rock and roll good technique, and slowing down a little bit is actually going to help you through here. But the people that can drift better at speed, see, actually kind of did pretty good there because I slowed down a little bit. If you could drift a little bit better at speed, you're going to be able to take those corners much, much better. Now, see how I kind of let it in there? And, like, by the time I hit the wall, I was already starting to go forward, so I didn't lose a lot of forward momentum. That's kind of how you have to do it. You have to really, really take that slide and really, really ease into it a little bit. Try to take your turn here. You can see even there, like, I didn't start the turn early enough. You almost got to start, like, halfway down that straightaway almost. But yeah, around this central structure, you really kind of almost got to slow the boat down. That's where you're going to lose time right there. Because especially first lap, probably not going to be so bad because there's not going to be wardens on the track. Second lap and beyond, there's going to be wardens on the track because they're going to have been there from the previous times you summoned them. And if you angered them, got them mad or whatever, then all of a sudden you're going to have wardens up the wazoo chasing you around on the track or doing whatever else. So, I don't know. I really, really love it. I really, really think that this looks absolutely amazing here. I was going to build more of this kind of skeletal structure I built underneath the big mouth. It's going to kind of be a big, just, I don't know what. Not building necessarily, but I wanted to build maybe like almost kind of a little garden square kind of area here. I'm not 100% sure what I want to do block-wise in here, so that's kind of why I've left it just as a skeletal structure, but I do want to use the basalt pillars because that's what we have over here. Kind of surrounding the ground in some of these different areas. I could go with deep slate, but we've already got tons of deep slate down here. It's boring. I want this to stand out for whatever reason or another, but I feel like you can't really use a lot of colors. I feel like you have to go with something too warm is going to be too, like, we can't go with anything like super vibrant, like a red or something like that, because that's going to really, really stand out way too much. And we can't really, I don't want to go with necessarily more of a greenish cool color, but then we also do have a lot of gray down here too. So it's like, I'm kind of torn between what I want to do color wise. Maybe we go for the ultra contrast, or maybe we don't. I don't necessarily know exactly what avenue I want to travel down yet. But at any rate, This is centered directly in the middle of this loop here. I wish the mouth was centered, but it's not. It's like way forward on this structure. But this building is centered right in the middle of the structure there. And that'll be filled out. And then we're probably going to actually replace a bunch of the blocks in the mouth thing too, because I think that'll be really, really, really cool. You have to let me know what you think would be a good block. I like andesite in terms of a gray. I think it's a nice bright gray that really pops when you look at it. But I've been pulling up creative mode and just doing the fill command and replacing the blocks with a lot of different variations. And I just can't land on a look that I really, really love. I also love like a cyan terracotta. It kind of keeps it that gray, but there's like a little bit of that color in there that matches the skulkiness. I don't know. I don't necessarily know. I've got a lot of different ideas with it, but my brain is running pretty much on empty between things I got going on for live stream, work, life, everything else. It's been going absolutely crazy. So yeah, so next phase of the track, it's going to go, of course, down through that tunnel there, and it's going to hook over to the right, and then it's going to come back out, I think, into the rock face right there. So that might just be like one almost big hairpin turn, kind of, and it's going to come boom, all the way down here. Down to do something. I'm not 100% sure what I want to do necessarily in terms of the track structure. I know we have the outline that I did on the other episode there, what I did the overhead from the creative world, but I'm not 100% sure what I want that to look like, unfortunately. We take a look back here. We've got another sensor hanging out down here, another shrieker, I should say, hanging out down here. I kind of just said wherever these land in the scheme of things is where they're going to land, because I don't want to try to build the racetrack and conform myself too strictly to where the shriekers are, because all you need is a shrieker nearby and a sensor nearby to sense it and send a signal to it, and then you're going to summon a warden. But I do kind of like how close some of these shriekers are. So once we get some of that stuff back in here, there's another one right there. Like, I built the track in such a way that it was able to actually sit right up on top of course, granted, this is supposed to be a double high wall, if you remember the design that we did in the creative world. But at any rate, let's head over to the pavilion. I want to show you one more thing here, but then we are going to wrap it out. There's a bright little light of the morning hitting me in the face down there. Really, really love it. Welcome back. And this, of course, is the skylight. We talked about this back at the beginning of the episode, finding the center of this chamber. So that way I could dig a skylight that goes all the way up to the top of the mountain here, which, of course, is where we're very slowly. I mean, I'm zoomed in, so it looks like it's going a lot slower than it actually is. When you zoom in and you use the zoom, it actually goes a lot faster. So there's actually no protection on the top of this, because if I put glass on the top of this, snow will accumulate on it, and then the light stops coming through. So I couldn't put any glass or anything like that up here unless I put lighting in up here, but I don't really want to do that. I may change up the block palette in this a little bit. I may add a couple different textures in it at some point, but it's really meant to be more like, you're not really meant to see much of it or anything like that. It's just meant to be this kind of thing up there. Of course, we got the bottom with a little bit of skulk infestation going on with it and stuff. But of course, you look at this bit, it's just this beautiful, bright, natural light that hits the center of this room. And now I can finish building this structure now that I have this in here. This will be the focus, I think, of our neck episode. This will be our neck episode. Yeah, so I think that's what we're actually going to focus on in the next episode, is getting this portion of the building built. Maybe we'll build that custom tree that's going to go in the middle there. And then, of course, we're just going to keep digging. We're going to keep digging. We're going to keep digging. I do believe that the next episode will be the last one that we do from the Ancient City track until it's done, and until we're ready to run an actual full race on the whole thing. Because a lot of this is just going to be very, very repetitive, right? Like, a lot of this is just going to be me driving around in circles and trying to get my drift patterns down correctly and doing all those kind of different things. And it's just not really, you know, I don't want to keep wasting y'all's time by bringing you here and just doing the same thing. Like, I'm digging deep slate in a time lapse, and then we're building more icy turns. I'm digging deep slate in a time lapse, we're building more icy turns, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I don't want to deal with all that. So we probably won't check in much here anymore until the racetrack's actually ready. And then the next phase of this design, well, of course, we're going to finish the pavilion. That I want to do for the next episode. But then after that, my goals are going to be to finish the main body of the track itself. So get the ice laid down, get the track laid down, get everything dug for it. And then once I'm happy with the exact layout of the track, we're going to get everything built up around it. We're going to get all of our decorations. We're going to skulkify some stuff. We're going to do all that different kind of stuff. So this is a project that's going to kind of I was going to say continue, and then the word switch to keep in my mind halfway. Does that ever happen to anybody else? Always happens to me. Words just switch in my brain all the time. We're going to continue kind of visualizing everything until we get this to real and full completion. But we've got other projects that we've got to finish. We've got other things that we need to do in the game as well, and different places that I want to still go that I've never gotten to. I want to go get frogs. We've never gotten frogs. I still need frog lights. We don't even have frog lights, and we're already like 25 or 20, however many episodes we are into the world here. I can't remember. We're too many episodes in to not have frog lights, and I really, really, really want to get some, you know, because I really would love to have frog lights for some different projects that we're going to do. We got to finish our, speaking of lights, we got to finish our ocean fortress. We got to take care of that still. And we've got to do so many more different things, like just so many more different things that we've got to get done. So, like I said, this will be a project that kind of continues on in the background. I know I said that in another episode, and then I've kind of just been out here because I haven't had the energy really a lot lately to do anything but just kind of a grindy project. Like when I am not feeling well, or like when I'm just really overwhelmed with a lot of other stuff, like I need just kind of a grindy, low-key project. And let me tell you, just setting up a beacon and just blazing through like stuff in Minecraft is like so low-key relaxing to me. Like I really, really love it. Like building is actually like takes like, I really struggle with it, I feel like, so it takes me a lot like more of my brain power than a lot of that other stuff, you know, kind of does, unfortunately. But it is what it is. Wow, what am I doing? Wow. But yeah, that's going to do it, ladies and gentlemen, for another episode here from Tritoncraft. I really, really, really appreciate you taking the time to check out the video, do all the fun YouTube stuff. It really, really does help me out a lot. And I can't wait to see you in the next one. We are going to finish our race pavilion and continue our journey to build the Warden Grand Prix 2.0. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching, and I'll see you next time.